Let's ride! Motherfucking Michael Jordan. What's up, everyone? You finally noticed that, for those of you who have noticed, my dash isn't going to be shorting out anymore. Most of y'all have noticed that in the last, I don't know, 20, 30 videos I've made, my dash has been flashing periodically. It's a new mod, keeps miles off the bike. Just temporarily disabled the miles on it. It's only like a second, but I didn't really want to get into what was going on with it because I was trying to see if I could fix it, but I gave up and just bought a new battery yesterday. Boy, it's nice. Turn that motherfucker on. It starts right now. It's like, hells yeah. This flashing yellow fucks with me every time, man. But what ended up being the problem was the battery. There was actually the battery was like shorting out inside. One of the terminals had come loose and like was moving, and when you moved it, like you could put it on like a meter, a voltmeter, and just move it and watch it just kill the battery. You'd have no continuity or anything across the battery, just lose your connection. What the deal was with that was not a normal battery. About a year ago, this bike started having some electrical deals with it. It was fucking annoying. It ended up being the stator, but it was only failing with heat, so I had like this intermediate electrical problem that I couldn't fucking pinpoint. It was driving me nuts. It ended up being the stator. It was losing on one of the waves, or whatever you call it, one of the three was failing when it got the temperature. So you'd be riding around, you start it up, then you get riding, all of a sudden, like when this bike's running, it'll stay running, but all of a sudden you notice your dash would go, and the engine wouldn't quit, but everything else would on it. It's pushing it. But yeah, anyway, I put like a high output stator on it. I ended up doing something called the free power mod from DRZ guys. That's just a simple mod where you end up basically just, oh god, wrong gear. Oh, you're stupid. All that ends up being is where you just run like thicker gauge. I think I ran like 12 gauge wires straight off the regular rectifier to the battery, because the way it runs now is it goes off the rectifier through the entire wiring harness and into the battery. You leave that intact. You don't like change that. You leave that the way it is. This looks crooked, but I think it's just, I don't know, fuck it. Random shit out here. What's this? Oh, it's just trees and shit. Anyway, but at the end of all that, my battery was fucked, and I had this great idea. I was like, you know, I want to try this new kind of battery, and I can't remember the company makes it right now. I'll flash it up right there. And the battery that I bought, this new style of battery, is lithium battery. Some of you guys may have seen these before, these new designs of those, and I wanted to give it a shot. I mean, it's about twice as much as a regular battery, but I figured I'd get twice the life out of it, and that seemed to be wrong. But, well, the problem's not the lithium part. I think that lithium battery is a good battery. It probably holds up for a really long time. But the problem I ended up having with it was, what was it? The issue for me was just the overall kind of build, I guess, of it. I mean, it worked well. It was a small ass battery. I kept considering like removing my battery box and putting it in the air box, something a lot of DRZ guys do, because the battery, it is kind of doomed on DRZs. They put the batteries on the back of the subframe, like way back, kind of on the opposite side where the exhaust is, in a little plastic box. And there's just so much vibration back there. It's just hell on the battery. The closer you get to the center of the bike, the less vibration there'd be. But actually putting in the air box could maybe almost extend battery life, you know. I guess you could argue with that. There may be more heat buildup in the air box. I don't know. But anyway, The battery I got though was smaller. I actually just put it in the regular battery box and just kind of put some foam around it. It weighs fucking nothing. It feels like this little plastic box. It's kind of hilarious. Like, you wouldn't believe it's a working battery in there. But when I hooked everything up, it was great. I mean, you had good voltage. Everything was fine about it. And little like 2.5 amp battery. The terminals obviously are kind of goofy because it's not meant for, like, they're just sort of universal, like, you know, like they just make two batteries, like you get this one or you get that one. So fucking dick. It's like an inch off me there for a second. God dang redneck mustache motherfucker. I have a mustache too. I got like a goatee. Just a mustache is redneck. But yeah, like I said, the battery was actually worked pretty good at first. It had good voltage and everything like that, and it seemed like a strong battery. But I noticed in the wintertime, it did not start near as fast. And I had to charge it a few times. There's a few times it came out there and it was just no go. And try push starting it, and sometimes it'd be too dead, and it was like didn't even want to fucking push start, which is kind of unbelievable. You should be able to push to start this thing with no battery in it. But anyway, what ended up happening, yeah, is later on too, though, the other problem I ran into, which is, so that first problem, that's just a lithium problem. Lithium batteries are more subject to be problematic, I guess, in weather changes. The other problem was just sort of the build quality of it, was that it's not going to be built near to the high standards. It's, you know, it's the guy who made it, or whatever. I'm sure it's a small company, like they do on the side. I doubt it's the guy's main job. And it's just a little bit cheaper put together. I mean, you can see. I mean, all credit to them. They're doing, you know, it's probably a very small man operation, but the battery is like in this plastic kind of like box that you can tell just sort of snaps together. And I bet there's 4 cells inside there or something like that. And I'm sure he just solders them together, solders the whole thing up, and puts it in his own box. You know, just sort of builds it. But I think it had the potential of being better if it was in a better case or something like that. I don't know. But the problem I'm having is one of those terminals actually is like loose on the top. The whole thing was like shifting back and forth, and I was considering taking the thing apart and seeing for something I can resolder in there and maybe sort of salvage it, but I'll go this way. It's just one of those things. It's kind of like, I don't know, man. I ended up saying I can't, like, I like the idea of the battery. I'm going to keep it, you know. I would love to see the look on their face to trade that thing as a core anyway. Like, what the fuck is this? They probably think I was joking. But, no, I'll keep it. Like I said, I may fuck with it and try to get it, like do something else with it. And just I don't know, it's kind of neat. It's kind of interesting. It's not quite there, so. It's nothing, I can't trust it in a bike that's, you know, something that transports me around, which is where it's left me stranded a few times. And that dash thing, that's just it cutting out while you're going down the road. Just, you know, the vibrations as you hit highway speeds, you know, that's just the engine being, you know, just like that, you know, that would cause it to cut out. So anyway, it's a shame. I like the idea of it, but, you know, maybe in a few years technology will be better. I mean, it's cool. It weighs nothing. It's a neat idea for a like a vehicle or like a battery, you know. Just I'm into like electric shit like that anyway, because I'd love to see I would love to see like electric vehicles in general one day like become the big thing. And I don't know, it makes sense for a battery like that on the bike, because it's just something that seemed like it would last a long time. But anyway, that's what's up. Bye bye. We're just up there and just a bunch of crazy Texans, a bunch of cowboys. Put your foot on. It'd be all scraped and shit on the bottom. They come with pegs.